Hello everybody, on today's episode of Serial, we're going to be talking about a very special topic and we're going to be talking about transgenderism. On today's episode, we have two very special guests with us and they are...
Hi, I'm Kelly and I'm 28 and you might have seen me on TikTok doing flying kicks and stuff.
Hi, I'm Nusrat. I'm 26 and I'm currently in university.
I just want to set full disclosure that it's a very open discussion and we don't mean to offend if we come across as ignorant or we say the wrong terminology.
Same here.
Same here? Okay.
I'm scared I also gonna cancel.
Yeah, I'm also scared. I'm very scared. Marcus also. That's why you're not talking. Okay, so you want to dive right in?
Okay, let's dive right in.
So before we start, I feel like maybe I want to clarify what is it to be trans? What's maybe the textbook definition of it?
Basically, I think it means that your brain just doesn't match your body.
I would say empirical definition, the scientific definition of being transgender is someone who experiences gender dysphoria.
Okay.
And like what Kelly said, the simplest way of defining it is that there is a disconnect between how your brain perceives your body and the way that your body is.
That will lead to the next question. So when did you feel this disconnect?
For me, I've always known as a kid that I was a girl. And my earliest recollection of feeling this disconnect was I was playing with my cousins, and my cousins are primarily girls, right? And whenever I played with the dolls, my parents would look at me and be like, "You're not supposed to play with dolls. Like you're a boy, right? Like you're not supposed to do that." But in my head, I was like, "Okay, I'm a girl. Don't know why you think I'm a boy. So I should be playing with dolls." So that was my very first, I guess, experience.
I wasn't super girly. I did play with dolls. I put the head off.
Wow.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, but I realized it at a young age also. And just always wondered why I'm not a boy. I will always say that. No, you're a boy, don't play with dolls.
There was this one chalet that I think it was a birthday party. The kids had just gotten done in swimming. So I think it was my mom wanting to shower us. She showered me with my female cousin because we're kids. It's no big deal, right?
Yeah,
so
normal.
yeah, so she was showering us, and I had noticed that my female cousin's
Body
intimate
was
parts.
very different.
I was like, why does she have that? Why do I have this?
Yeah.
And I think it was wishful thinking for me to think at that age, okay, maybe mine just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Maybe mine just hasn't grown yet. But obviously after I hit puberty and I noticed that nothing changed, I was like, okay, something is wrong with me. So yeah.
For me, the disconnect was more social.
Social.
Yeah, it's
In what aspect?
Girls and guys generally behave very differently.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not the most hyper feminine chick in the world or anything, but I still felt I'm still not a dude, so it just felt very uncomfortable. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
How long has it been since you guys started transitioning?
So I was in university. So I started my transition back in 2018. I think what ultimately sparked my transition was I think I finally realized that I can't keep living a lie. This is how I feel on the inside, and I've been feeling this way ever since I was a kid. And being a boy dressed in feminine clothes just didn't
cut it.
Just didn't sit right with me. How long have you been transitioning for?
I started when I was 19, 18, 19. And I'm 28 now.
Also, it's been 10 years.
10 years, yeah.
10 years,
Wow.
yeah.
Now that I think about it, it's holy shit, wait, I can't
I'm
swear,
a baby
right?
trans girl.
You can't.
Okay, yeah, I was holy shit, it's damn long.
Oh, so Ben, how much did it I think a lot of people are curious about this, the process of transitioning, the cost, the steps. So maybe we can start with maybe the cost.
All right, okay, so
We compare notes.
okay, sure.
We recommend the cheaper doctor.
Now before I begin, I just want to clarify that transitioning in Singapore isn't as difficult as
People think?
as people may make it out to be. There are, I want to say, maybe 2 or 3 routes. Well, I'll explain.
Routes?
Routes of transitioning.
Oh,
all right.
routes.
So the first one is obviously the black market way.
Oh, yeah.
You can get feminizing hormones pretty easily without needing a prescription or even a doctor's notice. Nothing like that. It is possible, but anecdotal evidence has shown that many transgender women die from complications because they're not being monitored, and
Liver
liver
self-medication
failure and
is
things like that. Yeah,
dangerous.
so I don't go that route. The second route is the one that I'm currently going through, which is basically the government hospital administered route. It is a long route and it is definitely slightly pricier, but you are well taken care of. So basically what happens is you first get a referral to see a gender therapist at IMH. Well, first a psychiatrist and then a gender therapist, right? And then once the gender therapist assesses that you have gender dysphoria, then they will proceed with like the next step. So for me, the next step was referring me to an endocrinologist, and it was through the endocrinologist that I was put on hormone replacement therapy. The third route, I would say, kind of similar to like what I just said, but I think Kelly has more experience in that, which is basically just going to any doctor, right?
Yeah.
You're going to any doctor. So do you want to talk about that one?
It's more of like what's the word for it? The choppy route. I did get diagnosed with the whole gender dysphoria thingy, and then I said it like thingy like as though like I don't know what it is. But yeah, like it's the whole gender dysphoria thing. And after that, but IMH didn't really do much. They just like, oh, you have it.
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, and
yeah, no,
yeah,
that's
they
true.
didn't help.
Yeah.
So I just went to go and find a doctor that sells the medication.
medications, yeah.
Just take.
Are you comfortable sharing like how much?
I don't remember how much.
All I can say is it's not expensive. Well, that is a very
Depends.
no, that is a very
That's
subjective
that one,
thing to
yeah,
say.
go careful when you say that.
Okay,
yeah.
like I will say that it doesn't hit the thousands. I will say that it does not hit the thousands. And believe it or not, it's actually pretty subsidized.
So it's
Like,
actually quite accessible.
it's very
Yeah.
accessible. It's just that when we do have privilege at play, because I think one very important thing to discuss when we do talk about the transgender community in Singapore is the topic of privilege, which is why I kind of feel like I'm not how do I say this? I'm not the right person to be talking about transgenderism in Singapore, because I admit that I come from a place of tremendous privilege. So, what I say might not be reflective of the whole transgender scene here in Singapore. But to answer your question, the route that I'm going through is really accessible because it is like a government hospital. Like it's not like some shady place.
Yeah.
It's not like some like random, whatever, right? Like it is an actual hospital. Like I have an endocrinologist who checks, who does my blood work every 3 to 6 months to make sure that my estrogen levels are in phenol range, my testosterone levels are nuked, meaning it's like I don't have any testosterone in my body anymore, and to make sure that that I'm well.
Like after you started transitioning, like what steps do you take to change, like let's say your IC,
Okay.
your passport?
Birth certificate.
Yeah.
You can do it under 70. Wait, 70 plus 50 is what? 120. Under 120 bucks. Not
That's
including
true.
taxi
Yeah,
fare.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like you just go to a lawyer. Is it a lawyer?
Lawyer, yeah.
I don't know what,
Lawyer.
advocate and solicitor or something. Yeah, then you just get you just tell them
A
that you want to
depot.
change. Yeah, then you get a depot, then you take the depot and you go to
ICA.
ICA and then it's done.
Yeah.
So it
Your
just-
name,
Yeah.
Gender?
Okay,
Gender?
here's the interesting thing though. So I have gotten my my passport changed as well as like my NRIC, right? So a very interesting story. So when I was getting both my IC and my passport changed, I had already prepared all the documents, right? I went to ICA, I presented to them. I didn't think anything about it. I was just like, okay, like I'm just gonna get my IC and my passport changed, just the name, right? I presented the documents. And the lady looked at me, and then the lady was like, "Can you give me like a minute?" So the lady then like runs to like the back of like the office room or whatever, and out comes this one, a Malay lady in like a tudung, and I was like, "Uh-oh, do we have like some problem here? Like what's happening? Right? What's happening?" She pulls me. No, she asks me to go into like this one like tiny room, like it just like next to the counter. So I went inside. Right? She sits me down, and the first thing she says was, "If you have had this surgery, just fill in this document and we will also change the gender marker." So that was what surprised me. It was the fact that like even changing the gender marker on your NRIC as well as your passport. Does passport have the gender as well? I don't know.
think
But
so,
NRIC,
so.
NRIC has, right? I didn't know that it was actually pretty simple. Like I thought it was gonna be like a huge like legal process. No, like literally once you have like your deed poll, I think almost like naturally they will ask you like, have you had the surgery yet? If you have, fill in this document, provide all the information, and then we will also change the gender markers. Did you have that as well?
As in, I was told that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what's deep hole?
Deed poll is the legal thingy that says that your name is officially this name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like in any government, like I guess database, that is your name.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite
It's damn
doable.
simple actually.
It's actually quite
As
simple.
you were saying, you need to go through sexual reassignment surgery in order for your gender marker to be
Yeah,
changed.
that's the only way.
Oh,
That really is the only way.
Technically, it's a sex marker on your IC, it says.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sex marker.
So
I am
sex,
so sorry
yeah.
about that. Wait, do you want to talk about the difference between sex and gender?
Yeah, that was one of the question I was going to lead to. Like, what are the
mind reader.
proper- yeah, what are the proper terminologies
Yeah.
of everything? You know.
I think this one you answer.
Oh, okay.
I'm scared.
Well, there is a difference between sex and gender. So forgive me for like my former slip-ups.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
okay.
there is a difference. Sex is basically your biological state, right? It's whether you're male, female, or intersex. Gender is how you identify. So for like a lot of transgender women, right? Our assigned sex at birth is male, but our gender ultimately is woman. So that is kind of like the dichotomy between sex and gender. Sex is basically what's in between your legs, and gender is how you really feel about yourself, like from head to toe. How do you really feel about yourself? That's what gender is.
So what do you think that it's the most difficult part of like transitioning?
The hardest part about transitioning would have to be my love life. Like what's difficult about it, right? Is that even after 4 years of transitioning and meeting a bunch of guys, dating a bunch of guys, I guess the most rude awakening that I've ever had to deal with is the knowledge that I will always be some guy's fantasy and not some guy's reality. It's the fact that like guys just want my company, but they don't want me for like a long time. It's almost like they either want me
For a good time, not for a long time.
yeah, for like sexual gratification, or even just purely my company, but like they wouldn't date me, right? Or even if like we did date, it was very tricky. There are some guys that wouldn't, take me out
openly.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do have like an online presence, right? So like people know me, and they know that I'm transgender, and I wouldn't say that I'm the most passable trans girl around. So I feel like even outside, like there is a possibility of me getting clocked. To those of you who don't know what clocked means, it's like someone knowing that you're transgender. That's basically what it means. So like there is this I understand where these guys are coming from, but of course it hurts because it's like, why are you so ashamed of me? Why are you so like kind of like embarrassed of me? I actually had to end a relationship fairly recently because, and mind you, it was a really healthy, really, really good, serious relationship. I had to end it because his parents didn't approve of the fact that I was transgender. Even though him and we had so much in common, and like it was just a very healthy, very, very healthy, serious relationship. And it was a kind of relationship that made both of us really happy to be in. But yeah, his parents didn't approve of us. So I ended the relationship for his best. Because I think for me, now at 4 years of my transition, I feel like I've matured enough to accept the fact that, a straight man, right, is ultimately gonna wanna have, kids of his own. He wants to have, a family of his own. He he obviously has to have someone to introduce to his friends and family, and someone that he can be proud of. And I don't think that a straight man would be very proud to introduce a transgender woman to his family and friends. But then again, this is just my personal experience. I'm sure there are straight men out there who are really proud of their transgender girlfriends, and honestly,
As they should be.
more power to you guys. But I would say that for me, that has been my experience so far, and I would say that is what makes I would say that is the hardest part about my transitioning.
I think the hardest part for me is more of like sometimes having to answer the questions about transgender stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Why is it hard to answer questions? Like what about it is hard?
I think because I think you agree with me on this, right? On social media,
Kind of,
there's
yeah.
so much being added to this whole
Especially
topic.
with the booming of TikTok.
Yes.
Like everyone is like so like sensitive about everything. And
Also, it's like you're very afraid to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Looking at you through like a microscope kind of thing.
Yeah, and I feel like people tend to, assume that like, okay, if you are transgender, you must know everything about the transgender community.
Yeah.
You must be up to date. It's even gotten to the point where like people have asked me, oh, do you know this trans girl? As if I know every trans girl out there in the
It
world.
happens so much. Like,
I don't
oh my God, you know
know.
this other transgender person?
Yeah, I'm just like, no.
Okay, now let's jump straight into my favorite topic, which is sex. Okay, I'm just kidding. But like, do you have any questions?
Like, how is your sex life?
I have honestly no complaints. Honestly, no complaints.
No.
Honestly, I really have no complaints. I would say that my sex life is
In fact, more amazing than ever.
better
than ever.
Really, because like at the start of my transition, I was like I had this, I guess, preconceived notion that like, oh, I mean, transgender women are not sexually desirable. But I was really mistaken. Like I got on Tinder, and like that was the first time that I saw like thousands of matches. I was like, okay, Cupid, same thing as well. I don't use Bumble because I don't understand Bumble. I'm very like traditional.
Bumble is like the one, I don't use dating apps lah, but it's the one that the girl gets
The girls are the
first.
ones who initiate, right?
It's an interesting concept actually. No, you're not. Are you the kind that you will go first or
I'm very
you
submissive.
wait?
Oh, okay.
I'm very submissive. For me, it's like I would much rather the guy make the first move.
Traditional
Traditional
girl.
Yeah. But I will say that my sex life has been really colorful, really really interesting. So yeah.
I would
no
assume it
complaints.
would be more freeing.
It's more comfortable having sex as a transgender woman, because it's like you know that your womanhood is
And
it's
it's
not being
finest.
questioned. Yeah.
It's at its finest actually.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask a question. I'm not sure whether it's sensitive, but like, does top and bottom still apply?
I don't know this one.
Really?
Does it?
Does it still apply?
Well, of course. I mean,
With
of course it does. So transgender women, like we come in all sexualities, bi, straight, lesbian, asexual, pansexual, and things like that, right? And obviously, in those sort of relationships, like the top and bottom kind of roles have to be discussed, especially for transgender pre-operative transgender women, rather. So it's basically transgender women who've not had sexual reassignment surgery. When they do get into a sexual relationship, right? The top and bottom,
Roles?
I guess, dynamic roles. Yes.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Sure.
The top and bottom thing, is it like the dominant one, the submissive one,
Like,
or is
no.
it the pitcher and the catcher?
It's like who's the one that's inserting and who's
Okay,
receiving?
the pitcher and the
Yeah.
catcher. Okay.
Yeah.
Just
I've never heard of that.
clarify.
Oh wow, picture?
Yeah, the pitcher and the
Oh,
catcher.
okay.
I've never heard of that.
Like for me, it's more of like who is more aggressive.
But I feel like
Because, I
that is
mean-
more like dominant submissive.
Yeah, because cause a trans woman can be topping, but they can still be submissive.
I am
Yeah.
a submissive top.
Yeah,
Are
Whoa.
you?
I'm a submissive.
exactly. You can be a submissive top.
I'm confused.
Then I heard like the opposite is power bottom.
Okay, yeah. No, like a submissive top is basically like a top who would do anything to please
Please.
the bottom.
bottom.
So like I don't know, like
I guess I'm that then.
Okay, let's say like there's a guy who is a submissive top,
Yeah.
right? Well, not necessarily a guy, but just a submissive top. Like maybe he's okay with. I don't know. Like I'm scared that I'm gonna get really like.
Just say.
It's
No,
okay.
it's like-
Raunchy, is it?
No, like I don't know, like on Twitter, there's like so like, hi Titus Low. Like no, it's like they get tied up and then like someone like jerks them off.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what a submissive
Yeah,
top
I think that's
is.
what a submissive top
You know
is.
what I mean? And then like a dominant bottom. It's probably
Power
someone,
bottom.
Power bottom. It's probably like someone who. I want dick inside me. I want dick right
yeah.
now. You sit
The
down. and, like,
aggressor.
Yeah.
I get it.
I want to run your
You get
disco
it.
stick
I get
kind of
it.
vibes.
Wow, Lady Gaga.
Right, yeah.
So have you guys ever been fetishized?
Confirm got on.
What's your experience?
You share yours first. I share.
Mine. Okay, so I have like a bunch of friends who do or
BDSM?
did OnlyFans.
Oh, okay.
Can I say that OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they have received requests from God knows who, saying I really want to see you and Nusrat like. And most of like these friends of mine are trans girls.
Yeah.
So like there's like this fetish of like seeing two trans girls just like each other, which I mean, for I don't care who does it. It's just not for me because I'm straight. I'm attracted to men. So yeah, like I have been fetishized in that light. I still have DMs. Instagram. I still get DMs from, like on Instagram and like Twitter of guys telling me like, you are the prettiest trans girl I've ever seen. Like you are the hottest trans girl I've ever seen. And like it, like
why do
you're
they have
not
to put the
wrong.
word trans?
Yeah, like I mean, like I get what you're saying, but it's almost like the focal point here is like my transgenderism. You could just said like, hey, you look nice. Hey, you're hot.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that like you had to put my
Trans.
transgenderism
Yeah.
there that makes me think, oh, you're a chaser. So you like trans women.
So do you find it insulting?
I find chasers insulting.
It's kind of
Is
annoying.
it
It's
demeaning?
gross. It's gross.
No, because like trans women are women,
Yeah.
right? Like,
And,
you don't have to like include
and the
trans
thing about
in everything.
and the thing about chasers, right, is that okay, so transgender chasers are basically people who are attracted to transgender women because they are transgender.
So like the objectifying
Yes.
trans
No, they will
women.
always ask this question. Do you have a cock or a vagina? They'll
Yeah.
always ask this question.
They'll always
I
ask
get that
this
in
question,
DMs
yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Do you
but-
still have it?
Yeah, a chaser is only attracted to you for your male body. So, you know, like sometimes you do have chasers who like post-operative transgender women because it's like, you know, like
So exotic.
yeah, because to them they are reminded of the fact that, oh, you're born a boy.
Yeah,
And that's what
like-
hurts. It's the fact that like you still see us as boys.
They want to
Like,
your
Yeah, and
suffering.
I feel like the worst.
that's it. That's it.
They want to your suffering. They think it's hot.
Yeah.
So they like the fact that you went through
Through hell.
hell.
No, they like the fact that like you are not like punan puni, like
Oh.
like you're not like a real boy, but you're not like a real
Yeah, but I
girl
feel
as
like
well.
I have some friends who have been like so like have made like transphobic comments like saying that they want to try quoting like they said they want to try like man-made pussy because it's like. So I was like, huh?
yeah.
You want to try a man-made pussy, get a
Yeah,
flashlight
get
lah.
flashlight,
Yeah.
right?
I think we've covered all that we can
Yeah.
for this topic of transgenderism. And I feel like maybe a closing note lah. So like, it's true that Singapore is conservative and still not as open as we like to be to transgenderism and other groups of people. So from being a person of that community, what can Singaporeans do to like be more welcoming?
Yeah.
We can have all these lofty, ambitious, you know, like well thought out ideas, but ultimately it has to go through the legal system, right? I mean, I could, you know, champion for, you know, comprehensive sex education, right? I could do that. I could petition for, you know, education about sexuality and gender identity to, you know, be taught in schools. But ultimately, it has to be approved by, you know, like the Ministry of
Legally.
Education and like, you know, the government and things like that. I feel like so far we are doing a good job. Is it enough? Probably not, but I will say that we are doing a good job, especially with the fact that we have Pink Dot. Unfortunately, because of you know, COVID, we can't have like those mass events anymore, which I do miss. You know, like it is a really heartwarming sight to see all those people, you know, gathered together. But I feel like we are doing a good job. Baby steps. I will say baby steps. Like I know that recently there was a challenge to repeal Section 377.
Oh yeah, I heard
right?
about that.
So I mean, although we didn't win that one, it's the fact that like we still are fighting.
Pushing for it.
Yeah, we still are pushing for it. So I will say that we are doing a good job. Is it enough? No, but baby steps.
One thing I want to say though, you guys just doing TikTok itself, it's already doing so much for the community. Like as
you.
much as you guys think like that it isn't, because it really is. I'm sure like there are like kids who are wanting to like transition are like going through your TikTok and actually seeing that, wow, there are people like me, which we actually don't see in the media itself. And you guys actually like doing TikToks, I'm sure like
Yeah. And I think
so good.
Thank you. And I think like one thing that I really like about local TikTok is that it really shows Singapore in its rawest form.
Yeah.
Growing up, I never thought that like there were like I didn't think that transgender Chinese Singaporeans were a thing. Like real talk, I was like, oh, like
Transgender Singaporean
Chinese, yeah, like because like
It's just like
growing up,
sorry.
I only saw transgender Malay women. I saw
Actually, think
transgender.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I only saw transgender Thai
Yeah,
women,
but-
transgender, you know,
Yeah.
Filipinas and things like that. But thanks to TikTok, right? I would say that more Singaporean faces are being seen who identify as transgender. And this really goes to show that, transgenderism isn't it isn't a trend. It really is like a real identity.
Yeah.
And like it's not like an exclusive community. It's not insular, right? It is just like a regular community. Like there are transgender Chinese Singaporeans, transgender Malay Singaporeans, transgender, Indian Singaporeans, what have you. We exist. We exist, and we're honestly like normal people. We do normal things. I don't know what you think.
That's
we
the
do.
thing that I also want to say. Like, you were saying about how it has to go through the law, right? But like socially, what you all can do to be more accepting is to just treat us like normal people, like just be chill.
Yeah.
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 Because transgender women are women.
And we are not aliens.
I'm just gonna say something. Like you saying that is gonna get your account in trouble. Like this, like Ready Set Bro is gonna have to do with law.
Why?
No, like saying transgender women are women, although it's correct. There are people who are gonna disagree and be like, no, transgender women are not women. Transgender are not like real women. So I'm just putting that out there just so you're aware.
Okay.
That there will be a lot of backlash from you just saying that alone.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
For me, what I like to say is that transgender women are transgender women, because I feel like we have to bear in mind that although transgender women, our transgenderism is what sets us apart from other women. So I just want to clarify that.
I think on that note, it's like it's okay to disagree with each other's perspective, but I think it's important to be respectful. Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I want to especially thank Nusrat and Kelly for coming onto our channel. They have been amazing guests today. So don't forget to follow them on their social medias, which should be down below.
Yeah, and they're very brave for sharing through all their hardship with us.
Exactly. And don't forget to follow us.
Of course.
And subscribe to Ready Set Bros channel and give it a like and on the post notifications. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.